How's it going, guys? And welcome back to another video. It's been a while, I know that. I'm so sorry, guys. This entire week for me has been a hassle. I've had tests and quizzes and a lot of homework, more than usual, and honestly, mainly school was the problem. But yeah, I'm back. This weekend I'm gonna be dropping a couple of videos. I'm gonna have some videos in store for next week, so yeah, stay tuned for that. But today's video is something that I feel like I know a decent amount about. I mean, I know a decent amount about all the videos that I make, but this one more specifically because it is what created who I am today, basically, and that is heartbreak. It sounds like a cringe word, the word heartbreak, and people are gonna be like, oh yeah, you're crying over someone and shit like that. But then it's things like this that turn boys into men. It's almost like a canon event in the Spider-Man, like the Into the Spider-Verse, like shit like that. It's what turns boys into men because it allows them to reflect and better themselves and realize that who they are right now is not their fullest potential. So it's not even just heartbreak. It could be like family problems, or it could be like losing a loved one. Things like these that put your mind into a really stressed state turn boys into men and make you better because of the things that you do. So heartbreak is what turned me into who I am today, because that's what got me on self-improvement. And today I'm gonna be showing you how you can move on from heartbreak. This is not a video about how you can better yourself after that. Maybe I'll make one, but there's a lot of videos on my channel that you can just look for if you wanna, overall things that you can improve on. But today I'm gonna be showing you how you can move on. Before I start this video, I just wanna say, make sure you subscribe because I do put effort into these videos, and turn on post notifications because I do upload quite frequently. And if you are on self-improvement, then this is the perfect channel for you. If you are a teenager, this is the perfect channel for you because I do like to keep things non-filtered and like to talk about my experience on things. Because quite frankly, I know a lot of people say this stuff in their videos, but it doesn't sound too sincere. But I genuinely am just a normal guy. Like I'm not like some kid who was, raised, I don't know how to explain it. I'm not like, I wasn't raised anything like special, I guess you could say. Like I was a normal kid. Like here's some pictures of me in grade 8. I was just a normal ass kid, and there was nothing really special about me, and there still isn't anything special about me, but I can definitely say I've improved my life. So yeah, if you are a teenager on self-improvement and you have no idea what you're doing, definitely hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and have a look at my previous videos. Anyways, let's get into the main video. The number one thing that you gotta do is, this is gonna sound really obvious, but you gotta stop thinking about her. Once again, it sounds really obvious, but then if it were obvious enough, you would already stop doing it. And maybe you already are, but I get it. It's difficult. But then why do you think about her? The reason why you're thinking about her is because you miss her. But then other reasons why you could be thinking about her are because you're reflecting. Reflecting is a great thing. It turns your mistakes into not mistakes. But there's a problem when you reflect too much, because then it turns into a kind of a loophole where you're like, okay, I could have done this, I could have done that, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have done that, all these things, led us to split up, and now I'm depressed as fuck. When you reflect too much, that's when it gets bad, because then you're constantly, a lot of people tend to beat themselves up over their breakup, and that's a really bad thing, because you're already thinking negative thoughts. You don't want to be thinking any more negative thoughts. So yes, it is good to reflect. It is good to be like, okay, maybe I was a bit too, mean to her. I mean, if you were, that's a really bad thing. But like, there's some other things. I mean, maybe I was too, I did this, shouldn't have done that, what am I gonna do better? But it's not, you shouldn't be thinking all the time, like sitting in your chair doing nothing and just being like, I should have bought her more flowers. When you're doing that, that's making you more depressed. And you know what a lot of people do? I used to do this thing too. I used to put on depressing music. I'm talking like, what's some of the songs I don't know if you guys know Boy with Uke. He was really popular in 2022, and he makes like songs about depression and stuff like that. Now he doesn't really, but back then in 2022, when I was going through this stuff, I used to listen to him all the time. What I used to do is I used to sit in my chair, but I used to have my headphones on and just think and be like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that, man. Why the fuck? That's when it gets really bad, because once you do that, you're constantly thinking about her. And I don't know if that makes too much sense to you, but you gotta be that type of person to reflect and just move on. You don't want to be the person who's constantly saying, damn, I should have done this, I shouldn't have done that, because quite frankly, you want to get this shit out of your brain. So yeah, reflect, but don't reflect too much to the point where it like overloads your brain and just constantly thinking about her. And number 2, this is a really big one, okay? This is letting your brain make fake scenarios. This is what fuck people up, okay? Not even just like after a breakup, but like maybe you have a crush on someone and you're creating fake scenarios. You know, this happened to me in 2022 as well. Your brain will make fake scenarios. I shouldn't even say your brain. You will make fake scenarios, okay? Say you like someone, okay? You're gonna make fake scenarios. For an example, like, oh yeah, you're just gonna like sit in your chair doing nothing, and you're just gonna try to think of fake scenarios of you and her doing things together. So for an example, maybe you'll think about you and her going on a date or something, like going through the mall and you're like, she's looking at clothes and she's like, oh, I want this one, and you like buy it for her. You realize that's fucking you up like insane, right? If you're thinking of fake scenarios, then your brain's gonna want it more, and then it's just gonna make you feel more depressed. So especially if they're that type of person who's like never had a girlfriend or like hasn't had one in a while, and you're like, damn, I'm kind of lonely. If you're thinking of fake scenarios, like not even just with like, maybe you're just thinking of like not even someone that you like, just like some random girl you like make up in your mind. You're just like a cute girl, you don't even have a face on them in your imagination, and you're just like, you know, you're imagining yourself, you're in the mall with this really hot girl, and she's like, you know, running around, she's super hyper, she's super happy, and you're super happy, and then you come back to reality and you're like, damn, I'm lonely as fuck. This fucks you up to a whole nother level. And I used to do this all the time, and I don't even think I have to explain. It puts a psychological effect on your brain. It's like when you come back to reality, you're just like, shit. It's almost like having a dream. Like having a really good dream and just waking up, that's what it's like. But that's for someone that maybe you like, or like, you know, yeah, let's say someone you like, okay? But then your brain can also make fake scenarios when you've just broken up with someone. So say your brain makes fake scenarios of her, okay? Maybe you and her together, right? After you guys have broken up, you're making fake scenarios of you and her, or maybe just even remembering the shit that you guys used to do, right? And then you come back to reality and you're like, damn. So there's so many reasons why you could be thinking about her, but honestly, to summarize this entire chapter, you just gotta fucking push this stuff out of your brain. This is gonna complement quite well. If you have had any troubles with lust and you have beaten that and you stop, you know, the main tactic for how you do that is just getting rid of those thoughts in your brain of doing it, right? It's almost the same thing with this. Okay, yeah, sure, fake scenarios, they're nice in the moment, you know, oh yeah, like you're zoned the fuck out and like your friend is trying to talk to you and he's like snapping in your face. You're like thinking, oh yeah, I'm in the mall with her. It's nice in the moment, but then imagine how bad it is when you zone back in. So you gotta push these thoughts out, okay? And I know it's a lot harder than it sounds, and it's a lot harder than to say it, but the next chapter is really gonna help you with it, and that is surrounding yourself with people that you love. This is the number one thing that I did to just get over. Your friends are your support. Take advantage of them. And if you don't have any friends, then I'm sorry, this might be a bit difficult. But yeah, surrounding yourself with your friends and your family. I mean, honestly, I never really did it with my family. This is a mindset that you kind of want to have, okay? Imagine being her. She's walking around, right? Maybe she's a little bit sad, but she's also like, oh yeah, you know, say she cheated on you, right? She's with another dude or something, and she's like, oh yeah, especially if she's one of those like, you know, degenerates, and she's like, oh yeah, I just wanted to play this guy, I just want to see how depressed you could get or something. And imagine her, she's like, oh yeah, he's probably like, you know, really sad and stuff. I mean, he also messaged me, he's like, oh why, can we not break up please? Imagine being her when she sees you. Maybe you guys go to the same school. Imagine her being her when she sees you with other people, not girls, like your friends, and you're like smiling and giggling and like, you know, laughing your asses off and having a good time, just smiling all the time. Imagine being her. Imagine how that's gonna break her ego. Okay, you gotta have like a I don't give a fuck mindset. Okay, imagine being her when she sees you not giving a shit. If you're just smiling and stuff, especially if you kind of like see her, right? Don't be that type of dude who's gonna pretend like you don't see her. If you see her, make eye contact with her and just look away again. So if you're with your friends, you're like smiling, having a good time, and you see her, look over and just like go back to whatever you were doing, right? Don't like stop smiling. Don't like go like Don't do that, okay? You want to keep smiling when you look at her and then go back to whatever you're doing. That's gonna break her ego so fucking badly, okay? And that's one thing that can make you feel more confident. So yeah, hang out with your friends. One, because it gets your mind off her. I mean, I'm not saying you're not gonna think about her at all, but your friends are also there to, you know, give you support and things like that. Like I had this one friend during my major breakup, and he helped me a lot, you know. We mainly did other things, like we were, you know, hanging out as friends. Obviously we were doing what we usually do when we hang out, but then, you know, there's this one time we just sat down and I started telling him the things. I mean, he met her before, so he was like, you know, giving me advice and things like that. That's the type of friends you want to have. People that you can just, you know, go hang out with them, get your mind off of this person, but then when it comes up, you just be like, damn bro, like I kind of miss her, and he'll be like, you know, this is what you gotta do, and just be like, you know what, it's just time to move on. So yeah, your friends are literally like your aid. They are your support, okay? And take advantage of them. Go hang out with them every day if you can. But then if there are days that you cannot hang out with them, the next part that you can do is just give it time. You know, this is one thing that I learned from this one guy, not a friend, but like online. I think they called him like, oh yeah, he was called the heartbreak surgeon. There's this guy from New Zealand, and honestly, his mindset, like the way that he puts things into you, like mindset wise, helps a lot. And the number one thing is like, okay, this is during like post editing or post recording acts right now. The next 7 or 8 minutes of this video is going to be so important, and I really recommend you guys pay attention, because this was not a part of my script. It is just something I started talking about and got into the zone about with no filter. So if you guys really want this video to help you, pay attention to the next couple minutes. I talk mainly about reflecting and how you can change your mindset from more of a victim mindset to like becoming a bigger person. Anyways, enjoy. Breakups and a heartbreak is like a broken bone. They just require time. So it's almost like, you know, how people say, okay, if you're heartbroken, go to the gym. It works fantastically. It gets your mind off of them, just like anything else. So we can say that the gym, or just hanging out with your friends, the gym or hanging out with your friends will help you get over them, right? But you know how? It's not because like when you're hanging out with your friends, it is, how do I explain this? The reason why hanging out with your friends and going to the gym or doing anything that gets your mind off her helps your depression is because it's, how do I explain this? It is allowing it time. It's just filling in the gaps. It's giving it time. It's not that. It's not the gym. It's not the friends that's healing your depression. It's the time. It's almost like your friends and the gym and whatever gets your mind off her is like painkillers, or like, you know, yeah, just painkillers. How do you heal a broken bone? You don't just take tons of painkillers. You have to let it rest. The painkillers take the pain off for a certain amount of time and allow you to do other things, right? So when you have a broken bone, you take painkillers, you're gonna forget that your bone is probably broken, even, because, I mean, if you're like sitting in bed, right, and your bone hurts, and then you take a pill, a painkiller, you're watching TV, and you're just gonna forget that it's even broken because the pain is practically gone, and you're, you know, doing what you're doing, like hanging out with your friends, or sorry, not hanging out with your friends, just watching Netflix or something. It's almost the same way with heartbreak. You hang out with your friends while you're heartbroken, and that is giving it time. So like a broken bone, when you take painkillers, it's not the painkillers that's helping the bone, it's the time that's going into it. So the bone's gonna heal regardless if you give it pain, if you don't take painkillers, it's just gonna suck. So the way you don't make a broken bone suck is to take painkillers so it doesn't hurt, while the time is, you know, being added to it and the bone heals. So almost like the same thing with heartbreak. If you hang out with your friends, go to the gym, you know, the time is still being added on and you're still getting over her. So it's almost like the gym and friends are like painkillers. It's just they're gonna make the journey of getting over her not suck as much. So the best way to heal, you're still gonna have to face heartbreak. You're still gonna have to face it. There's no way to not. And you know what, you want to. Because once again, as I said before this video, is that it's what turns boys into men. And maybe you're already, you know, gone through something like this. This is what builds you. This is what builds character, and this is a major thing, what teaches you a lesson. This is a life lesson right here. This is what's gonna impact you for the rest of your life. It's one of those things. So honestly, another thing that you can do is see this. This is gonna be really hard to believe, but if you get your heart broken, your girl just cheated on you and you're depressed as fuck, see it as a learning opportunity and say, okay, you know what, this is I'm gonna reflect on this. Once again, don't reflect too much, but do it in a good amount, like a healthy amount of reflecting. Reflect, that's gonna turn you into a better person. So once again, you just gotta give it time. You have to face heartbreak, and it's good to, because it builds you character. And there is no way to just avoid depression. There's no way to just fully avoid it. That's all I gotta say. You can ease off the pain a little bit with, you know, gym and friends, like almost like painkillers, but there's no way to just completely eliminate it. But once again, time is key. So you just gotta give it time, honestly. Do things. It's obviously a bit different with, you know, painkillers with a broken bone. I mean, you can't take too many painkillers because, you know, it is a drug and you can overdose with them. You can't really overdose with hanging out with your friends or the gym. I mean, the gym, sure, maybe you get an injury, but like hanging out with your friends is probably your best option. There isn't really a way of overdosing on that, so you can do it for as long as possible and ease the pain off for, you know, the entire day, and you only have to face it for like 2-3 hours a night. So yeah, it is a bit easier than a broken bone, but once again, you should face it, because if you're that type of person who plays a very victim mindset, you don't want to play a victim mindset during heartbreak. You want to be the bigger person and be like, okay, yeah, you know what, I kind of fucked up in this part. This is what I got to do to improve that. And you got to reflect, because then if you guys broke up, then obviously you guys weren't meant to be. You got to figure out what went wrong and how you can improve for next time. And most likely, if you know your ex good enough, if she has a victim mindset, or she, you know, likes to reflect on a lot of things, if she likes to reflect on a lot of things, then most likely she is doing the same thing. She's probably reflecting a lot. But if she plays a very victim mindset, then, well, good luck to her next boyfriend, right? You don't want to have a victim mindset. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, you know, she cheated on me and everything like this. Sure, that's not, maybe it doesn't have much to do with you. You gotta be the bigger person. And I mean, there's probably a reason why, right? Maybe she was just a complete hoe and she just used you for your money. Then there isn't much reflecting to do, right? But then maybe she didn't cheat on you and you guys just broke up because you guys weren't compatible, and she thought you weren't, you know, the one, I guess. That's when you reflect. That's where you can reflect. Don't reflect too much. Don't become depressed over her. Reflect, and then in your next relationship, you know what to do and you know what went wrong. So say you're the person who reflects, you both get a new boyfriend, you both get a new partner, let's say 2-3 months later, right? You are the guy who reflected and now knows what to do with their next girlfriend. The girl, on the other hand, has a very victim mindset and didn't do any reflecting, and had a very victim mindset and was just like, okay, yeah, fuck him. They break up like 3 days in. You and her spend like 2 years together and perhaps even get married. This is what you gotta do. I kind of just pulled this entire reflecting thing out of my ass. This wasn't even a part of my script, but I feel like it is a very important one. You gotta reflect and don't play a very victim mindset. Damn, I just did a lot of yapping. Anyways, guys, I think that's pretty much it for this video. So quick summary, stop thinking about her. Honestly, don't let your brain make fake scenarios. Don't reflect too much. I mean, reflect definitely, but don't reflect too much to the point where you become depressed. And reflect in a good way, you know? Don't be like, damn, you know, I'm such a shitty bitch, I shouldn't have done that. Number 2, surround yourself with people that you love, especially friends that are loyal and you can genuinely sit down next to them, have no filter, and be like, if I fucking loved her so much. 3, give it time. You have to face